0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Real good.
Hello, Chicago Bears fans. Welcome to the Bears Den podcast number 76. We have a great show lined up for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about anything and everything Chicago Bears news since the season ended. As always, please like us, subscribe, follow us, share our content, show us some love. You can find us on Facebook, X, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't be shy tonight. Send us your comments, send us your feedback. We love when the audience participates with us. Now, let me introduce the rest of the Bears in the Den. I am your host, Andy. I got my boy Todd in the house.
Hey.
And I have the champ, the bad guy, Chicago Clarence in the house. So how's everybody doing?
Great. Can't complain. Great.
Pretty good. A little tired today for some reason. I don't know why.
It's been a little crazy 2 weeks. For sure. We've had 2 weekends of snow here in the South, which is in itself hard to believe. So that never happens. Well, guys, let's get into it. Since we were here last time, we touched on it a little bit, but it looks like Ozzie Trapillo is going to be out for the season. It's like we re-signed Theo Bernadette. Todd, do we need to draft a left tackle? Sign a free agent?
I don't want to sign a free agent. Yeah, we need to draft a versatile tackle. You know, I think you probably should draft one every year, see what you've got. I don't think, you know, barring any crazy drops, I don't think you probably address that till day 3.
Champ, what do you do here?
I think the prudent thing to do would be to draft one. I just don't want to. It's not a glaring weakness for this football team that we got bigger needs.
Yeah, I think what you have to do. I mean, this is and I hadn't thought about this, and I was pretty unhappy about it. In the last game, was kicking Tooney out, but it just depends on who's a better player. If Benedict's better than than kicking Tooney out, then that would be great. If Benedict could be the swing going into the following year, or if Trapillo is able to play later in the year, if he's your third tackle, that'd be fantastic. But I don't. We have bigger problems, but I think if McFadden's a better player at guard, then the answer is going to be to kick Tooney out to tackle, and I don't love that, but that it just depends on which of those guys is the better of the 5 guys up front. It's good that we have some flexibility. I'll say that.
I know how one person's going to answer. Any of you guys re-signed Braxton Jones? I mean, he has been with this franchise since the beginning. He's probably as good as any when you look at his list of free agency, he's as good as any free agent you're going to find, honestly. He might even be better than some of the free agents available this year.
Yeah.
It is not a tackle-rich free agency this season.
I mean, Cam Robinson's the only guy, but he's going to get money, and he's played everywhere. Yeah, no, honestly, he probably is as good as anybody on there. But what are you going to pay him? Are you going to pay him minimum? I mean, somebody's going to pay him more than that.
Right. I know Clarence has done hell no. All right, I'm not even going to ask him, but I mean, to me, we have to shore up left tackle this offseason. It's an
Preston Jones is
unfortunate.
not the answer. If
No,
he is as good as anybody that's on the free agent list, then it's a
yes,
pretty sorry list
it
because
is.
that's what
This
this guy
season
is.
is not good for free agency and
Preston
left
Jones
tackle.
is trash, and
For
he
the
ain't even an option
yeah,
in my opinion.
I
He's not even
mean,
an option.
98% of free agency are guys that other teams don't want anymore. I mean, some teams get in real financial trouble and they have to cut somebody loose, and that's how we ended up with Tooney. Not that the Chiefs were in financial trouble, just they did so well with drafting and promoting their own guys within that they ran out of money that way. That's a great problem to have. But most of the time, I mean, like the guys that we're going to lose in free agency, right? Do you care about them? Honestly, do you care much about them? The list of guys that, I mean, they're replacement level at best for the most part. That's just the way it is. I'd roll my chances on a day 3 tackle that we can coach up for 2 or 3 months over Braxton Jones.
I mean, I hated that we lost. I mean, it sounds like he's going to be lost for the season. It's that severe of an injury. I hate that. So, in other news, we lost Bieniemy to the Chiefs.
I hate
We
that.
signed Eric Studesville, free agent. All right, not a free agent, a coach from the Miami Dolphins. I hated that we lost Bieniemy. Our running game was working last year. I hated that we lost him. Studesville is very respected and highly thought of. I'm hoping it don't slip. We do have Rochar yet, but I hated to lose Bieniemy right there. Clarence, what are your thoughts on that move?
It was expected. We knew that we wasn't going to be able to keep him around long. The guy has head coach aspirations. He's been locked in the offensive coordinator position for years, and then when he was forced to be out of that position, he came to us as a running back coach. And anybody who didn't see this coming is asleep at the wheel. I think that he elevated our run game. He came in here, did what he had to do for the betterment of himself and his aspirations to one day be a head coach, and he's back in a familiar place. I think Kansas City was sad to see him go because if you ask me, their offense has suffered ever since he left. It definitely wasn't the same.
Right.
So anybody could see that Matt Nagy is not the answer as offensive coordinator. And maybe that's just my disgust for the man because I despise Matt Nagy, but hey, that's another show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he was a tone setter as a coach, and and it didn't matter. I mean, we talked about this, the Adrian Peterson days back then. It didn't matter, the name on the back of your jersey or how much money you made. He treated everybody. It seems to be that he rode every back hard everywhere he's been, and I hate that we lost him. But yeah, no, it's expected. I mean, we had nowhere to promote him to, honestly, and
No.
If he can be the OC somewhere, then good for him. And he said he was going back. I mean, if he considers Kansas City home, as long as he's spent there, then that's even better.
I know this is off topic. What do you think of the John Harbaugh pairing with Matt Nagy? Champ, I'll go to you first. I know you're a Harbaugh fan and not a Nagy fan. What do you think of that pairing in particular?
I was shocked.
I am shocked by that pairing.
I was shocked. I mean, I don't understand. The NFL is supposed to be a copycat league, and if so, then you would see that Matt Nagy has not worked anywhere he's been, especially when you hand him the clipboard and tell him to call plays. He does not excel at it. Why? Because he's stubborn. He tries too hard to be the smartest person in the room, and he's usually the dumbest. So why in God's name would you hire him, knowing what you just went through in Baltimore with losing your job because they felt like you wasn't the answer, or you couldn't get along with the quarterback, and you want to go put your fortunes and Jackson Dart's fortunes in the hands of Matt Nagy? Stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Yeah, I may touch on this a little later in the show. It was kind of something I was leaning on, so we'll move on for now.
So the biggest news, I mean, it's not huge. Ian Cunningham to the Falcons, not the GM. His official job title is primary football executive. So basically, they went around it to not give us compensatory picks. Todd, what are your thoughts on that one?
I'm furious over this, and I was reading today that it's the final whatever.
Yes.
As of today, it's the final. Look, if we don't raise hell over this all the way to the top on this thing, I mean, you're talking about two guys that are going to be top 100 or so players. It's not going to be this draft. Clearly, it's too late in the game at this point. But he is going to. I mean, Matt Ryan said the other day he's going to make the decisions on the draft, on the players they bring in, on who gets cut. I mean, that is a promotion. He's obviously making more money. That's a promotion. This is just technical job title crap.
It's wording.
They need to fight this tooth and nail. If Kevin Warren doesn't fight this to the death, I will be disappointed.
Champ, what are your thoughts on Ian Cunningham to the Falcons?
I'm already disappointed. If this was going to happen to any team in the NFL, it's going to be the Chicago Bears. We have the worst luck in just about anything that we do or touch that I've ever seen. And like Todd said, if we're not raising a whole bunch of ruckus over this, then what are we doing? Because we are owed those picks. This wouldn't have happened to any other football team, but it happens to us. And the guy was an assistant general manager here. He got promoted. It's obviously a promotion. He goes to a different team. And Matt Nagy, you got me on him. But Matt Ryan, on 2 occasions, said that Ian Cunningham was going to be calling the shots. So if that's not, what you need to determine that we should get those picks, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and I don't know if people study this and know a lot about it. These are compensatory picks. This isn't like we're taking these picks away from Atlanta. These are just at the end of the round. They throw these picks in, usually for free agent losses or for whatever else. It's not costing anybody anything for us to get these picks. This rule was put in place for a reason. And this is clearly a promotion. That this should be a no-brainer. I don't know why the NFL is fighting it this hard. It doesn't make any sense. It's not like, oh, we're going to win this and it's going to cost the Falcons. It doesn't affect the Falcons in any way.
Should Ryan Poles have put his hand up in the air and say no before the move was made? Should he objected? He should have threw a stink right away.
No, he shouldn't have done that. Ian Cunningham is his guy.
I know that.
Friend. He wanted to see him, to exceed. So I'm not mad at that part of it. I just feel like the Bears behind the scenes should be, going after the NFL a lot more harder than when it seems that they are right now.
Yeah, our beef isn't with the Falcons or Cunningham or any of that. Our beef is completely with the NFL. And no, you let him take the job. He's
no, he deserves the job.
Yeah, he
deserves it. I'm just saying. We should have got those picks. Shouldn't Poles have put his hand up right away when he was given this title instead of not a GM title? I know Ryan Poles and Matt Ryan are friends. He protected him at Boston College, offensive lineman, quarterback. But we need those picks.
No, the fact that Ian Cunningham wanted the job is the reason why he shouldn't have done it.
But we still need to fight as hard as we can. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a
no-brainer
that they do it, and it's not a zero sum here. Just because we win these 2 picks, that doesn't hurt anybody else. It's just stupid that they're putting up this big a fight on it.
No, I agree with you guys 100%. I think we should have got those picks. And like Todd said, officially it's been ruled on 2 hours ago that we're not going to be awarded those picks.
Well. Until they officially bring it up again and fight it some more. I mean, come on.
I mean, let's talk about what Ian Cunningham does for the Bears, did for the Bears to help put us in the position that we're in right now. He was the guy that was in Ryan Poles' ear, not to trade up to get Roman Dunze when he fell to us anyway. And some other moves and counsel that he gave Ryan Poles, and it seemed to have worked out. We're going to miss that. Yeah. We're definitely going to miss that.
Yeah, I mean, we are. I don't dislike Cunningham. I mean, you knew he was going to get hired sooner or later. I think that was a no-brainer. I just think we got screwed out of those picks badly. And it's just language. That's really what it is.
Just a job title.
Yeah, it's just language. It's just words on a piece of paper that keeps us from getting those picks. Right. So moving on, guys. Declan Doyle to the Baltimore Ravens, offensive coordinator. He will be calling the plays. This will be the first time in this young man's life he's calling the plays. Todd, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, good for him. I think that, I know I think you've seen Cole Kmet comment about how this is going to be a big deal and a big loss. To me, when he came in, when they named him in, like he was the hot young name and all this, and it seems like that job right now, because you can call whoever you want to the offensive coordinator.
It's Ben
Ben
Johnson.
runs the offense, and there's grunt work and all that, and I'm sure that that's what they're saying, that this is a thankless job, but you get to put this on your resume when you're already the guy that is gonna get an OC job somewhere, and you're young, right? You want to coach with this guy, coach with this guy. It's the same thing in what we're doing now with the guy we brought in. It's like, okay, I don't. To me, the Bieniemy thing hurts. The Declan Doyle thing. It wasn't a surprise. I was a little surprised that he was so adamant about not going to Philly. I mean, I know it's a mess a little bit right now there, but they're a year away from winning the Super Bowl. They have arguably the best running back in the league, who's young. He's got a good running back with the Ravens, but not
Yes.
young. And so it's like he was adamant about not going to Philly, but jumped right on the Raven job. Was a little surprising to me how fast Philly star has fallen.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Declan Doyle does in Baltimore. I hope he does well. I'm curious to see how he does as a play caller, because he's never called plays. Chant, what are your thoughts on Declan Doyle to the Baltimore Ravens?
I mean, like Todd said, good for him. This is the reason why we didn't get Cliff Kingsbury in Chicago, because it's a position that you're not going to be there. You're not going to be calling plays. It's the reason why Eric Bieniemy left instead of being promoted. Yes, he probably would have got a pay raise, but he wasn't going to be calling the plays. So what's going to be happening here is just somebody who's just going to be going over the offensive game plan, going over tape, that type of stuff, managing the position coaches. Ben Johnson is calling the plays. I mean, we know this. So I kudos to him for getting promoted and getting the opportunity, and I wish him luck.
I mean, Kingsbury's established. He's not looking to add to his resume that he coached under Ben Johnson for a year.
Exactly.
You want the young guys that are right on the cusp of it, that I want to be part of this offense for a year.
Yeah,
and it makes sense.
Kingsbury is unemployed right now, isn't he?
Still, he's established.
He didn't get hired, right?
Someplace.
I don't think so.
I thought that he did get hired on someplace. Pretty sure he did.
I think he's still out there. So, in light of Declan Doyle to the Baltimore Ravens, we elevated Press Taylor to our offensive coordinator. I mean, I think we all know. We've all said
he went to the Rams. It seems like.
Yes, he did with Sean McVay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That's an interesting pairing, because it's kind of like what we just said. Sean McVay is going to be calling the plays there.
Right, that's the same thing I just argued against. Yeah. Maybe he just wanted to get back to LA.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird to see Kingsbury get out of Washington. Yeah. So anyway, Press Taylor is our new offensive coordinator. But we all know this is Ben Johnson's team, Ben Johnson's offense. Ben Johnson's going to call the plays. There's going to be no changes whatsoever to that. So, guys, Ben Johnson, he got no love for Coach of the Year. He got one vote.
It feels similar.
How do you feel about that? I think it's a slap in the face.
Yeah,
one vote. He brought a team back from 5-12 to an NFC North. We won a playoff game. We pushed the Rams to the brink. We could have won that game. He gets one vote.
With the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl, but
yeah,
I don't know. If Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, maybe that changes a little bit. I don't know. What do you think?
I still think Ben Johnson should have got more than one vote.
I'm just saying that the Patriots, if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, Patriots don't go to the Super Bowl. That's probably it. I'm not saying Johnson gets it then either.
Or why did Mike McDonald get anything? He just won the Super Bowl. He's a first-year head coach.
Yeah, I mean,
he got no love either.
Yeah, that's surprising.
All the love went to Vrabel.
Yeah. Well, because the Patriots were terrible. You know, Seattle
We
was
were terrible last year.
Yes, well, that's true. Seattle was we really were. Seattle
Yeah.
was decent, but I don't know how many people had them in the Super Bowl. So
Champ, what are your thoughts on Ben Johnson getting one vote for Coach of the Year?
I think it all depends on how you look at it. It depends on, to me, how important of it is it to you. For me, we had a coach of the year before, and it went
Yes, we
horribly
did.
wrong after that.
Yeah, it was Matt Nagy.
I think that if the NFL was, or the people who voted on this really sat down and looked at it, the crucifix of this reward or award, if you will, if you look at how bad the Bears were last year, and it all centered around coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look at how good the Bears were this year, and to me, it all centered around coaching.
right.
So the fact that you gave that guy one vote is egregious.
It is.
And that's just how I look at it. Now, I remember how I felt when Matt Nagy came here and went 12-4. I didn't love the Mitchell Trubisky pick, and I'm going to stand on that for obvious reasons. But other than that, I thought that it was an opportunity for us to become relevant because we had a good defense, and the jury was still out in most people's eyes on Mitchell Trubisky. Not mine, because he's exactly who I thought he was, but we still had a championship level defense.
Yes.
And all arrows were pointing up, and we had the coach of the year. And Matt Nagy quickly proved to us that he didn't know what he was doing, and everything else is revisionist history. So I said all that to say this: how important is that award? And at the end of the day, you want to be holding up the Lombardi Trophy, and I'm
You
pretty
do.
sure that's how Ben Johnson feels.
Yeah, I don't know that it bothers him very much.
So my next question, Mike Vrabel got Coach of the Year. Did he really deserve it after what we just saw in that Super Bowl? Like the Patriots looked horrible.
The
They looked like a
Patriots were
horrible
were
team.
benefactors of a very easy schedule. They played the easiest schedule in the NFL. They play in a division where they only have to worry about one team, and that's Buffalo. Um, and then when you look at what happened to them in the playoffs, if Bo Nix plays in that football game, I think they get beat.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
the,
he's
yeah,
coach
the,
of the
the
year if
Denver
Bo Nix
Broncos
doesn't get hurt.
defense, the Denver Broncos defense was holding them down, and if it wasn't for the fact of Stidham going in there and
Right.
not being able to make them pay for mistakes, is the reason why the Patriots go to the Super Bowl and not the Denver Broncos.
In
So
the middle of a blizzard.
yeah, and then go. What's disappointing for me watching Drake May is you can't put it all on him because you got to have protection. I think
Yes.
that they said that Will Johnson gave up 18 pressures.
Yeah.
Campbell.
18.
Will
Will
Campbell.
Campbell, sorry. 18 pressures. And then he was set, what, 6 times?
Yeah.
I mean, you just think about the Super Bowl quarterbacks who've lost. And it's all for the same reason. They got hit in the mouth. I mean, I'm talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking about who everybody wants to anoint the next greatest thing in Patrick Mahomes. All of them. Peyton Manning, the same thing. When you get hit in the mouth,
Right.
it changes things. And he looked hurried. He looked uncomfortable. I think a lot of it could be put on the coaches as well. The one thing they were able to do was run the ball, and they quit running the ball.
Yeah.
It was a one-score game all the way up to the fourth quarter. Why'd you quit running the ball? So you can't put it all at his feet. I mean, he didn't look particularly great, but it's not all his fault.
He's got, he's got a pretty bright future. I mean, he threw for 73% completion percentage. That's what they all talked about. I mean, I look at his receivers. I'm not very impressed with that group. I think that look, they made it to the Super Bowl, and that's great and all. But I seen the ESPN rankings came out for and they were number 2, and I know they're just coming off a Super Bowl loss, but I don't think going into next year that the Patriots are the number 2 team in the league. I don't think that's even close. But,
Well, Todd, I'm glad you brought that up because I have those power rankings.
yeah,
I
right.
forgot to tell you guys this.
Yeah.
So as of right now, for next year, way too early power rankings. Broncos are 1, Rams are 2, Seahawks are 3, Patriots are 4.
Well, that's a different one than I saw. Then they were 2
I
in the
think
one I
this
saw,
is
but
Fox. This is
okay,
Fox Sports.
yeah,
I'm
all
sorry.
right, yeah. So ESPN
Eagles
has
are
the
5.
Patriots at 2, yeah.
But they have us at number 10.
Yeah, I think we were 11 on ESPN, but the big thing was that we were behind the Packers in that one. But yeah.
And we're in front of the Packers on
Yeah.
Fox's.
This is a little better list than the one I saw, but yeah.
I mean, had the Broncos as favorites next year.
Yeah.
I mean, if Bo Nix wouldn't have got hurt, there's no telling. They probably would be in the Super Bowl. It's a shame that happened to them, honestly.
Yeah, this is a bolder list than the one I saw from ESPN, but I don't have a big complaint with this one. The Jags may be a little high at 7. I know they had success, and the Chargers, but I think 10 is probably about right for us. You think that's wrong?
I think it's about right.
Yeah.
Clarence, you think we're the 10th best team now?
I think we should be higher, but I'm not going to complain about 10. I mean, if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I got a problem with them being at number 5.
Yeah.
If I'm going to nitpick, that's the team we went into their building and manhandled them.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Manhandled.
You're off the Super Bowl though.
And now, if you sit there and you want to talk about what's going on in Philly with all the arguing and the discourse on the team between star wide receivers and the head coach, and what have they done to fix their problem, the offense. So, I don't know why they're so valued the way they are across the league, with the problems that they have, and them being. I think that if you had the Bears at 5 and them at 10, I think that would be probably right. I don't know what I don't know what Buffalo has proven to be so valued so high either. That's the Josh Allen effect, but they've got a new head coach too, and questions to answer. So having them at number 6 to me is a little bit high as well. But I don't care about this kind of stuff. We got a very tough schedule next year.
Yeah.
Very tough schedule.
The ESPN one, yeah. The ESPN one is terrible. They have the Lions at 7 and the Packers at 10 and us at 11. They have us 3rd in the division on theirs, but again, they're looking for clicks. I mean, come on.
So guys, let me ask you something. One thing, I was watching Super Bowl and it occurred to me that there's nobody can look at anybody with a straight face and say Drake May is better than Caleb Williams. I still say, I've said it since day one, we got the best quarterback in the draft. Todd, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, all last year it was,
Jaden Daniels.
It was Jaden Daniels.
And rightfully so.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Yeah, no, he had success, but and Bo Nix probably doesn't get as much love as he should. We've been talking about Bo Nix all night tonight.
Yeah.
No, I think Caleb's ability to extend these plays and make these amazing, that's the difference, honestly. I think if I was a GM and could do it all again, I would do the same thing.
I would absolutely still take Caleb Williams as number 1. If he just can hit the short throws and the layups and improve his accuracy, he's going to be amazing. His
accuracy is probably never going to be at that 70% level, but his ability to make the amazing play just really offsets that.
Champ, what do you think? I mean, would you still take CW number 1 in that draft now?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I probably would. We've hitched our wagon to him now, so ride with him we must. But he leaves a lot to be desired. You can see stuff on both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does Drake May throw that in? Does Drake May throw that interception against the Rams at that position? I don't know. I doubt it. The layups that he tends to miss. You know, you could say that Drake May doesn't make those mistakes and he's able to hit those throws. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think that we as Chicago Bear fans, because we have been starving for that guy so long, we like to hang up on the spectacular throws that he makes. And for me, you know, as great as those are, I wish you just make the simple ones.
Yeah.
You got to be able to increase. You got to be able to do better at the simple ones. But if you have the ability to make the amazing plays and you can clean up the others just a little bit, it makes you clearly the best player out of the bunch.
I mean, I honestly didn't see in Esser, but what makes Drake May special? I didn't see it. I mean, I know Seattle's defensive line is from hell, and it abused New England, especially Will Campbell, all night long. But I did not see why anyone can say with a straight face that Drake May is better.
When you got to remember
Yeah.
this, when you don't have time to sit back and
No, I know.
diagnose what's happening to you, you
Right.
got a very creative defensive coordinator on the other end sending these exotic blitzes, and you tend not to trust what you see when you ain't got but 2 seconds to get rid of the ball.
That was
You
like
know,
CW
and
last
and
year.
I said that already. You know, we very good Hall of Fame quarterbacks have made to look real bad in
Right.
the playoffs. You know, if you get a defense that's be able to rush you with 4 down linemen and hit you
Right.
in the mouth and hit you as often as he was getting hit, you're not going to look very good either. Drake May is an outstanding quarterback. He just had a bad game on the biggest stage that there is. I mean, that's just all it is. And for it to happen in his second year, the sky's the limit for that guy.
I mean, if we just compare apples to apples here, I think, I think if we start Tyson Bagent, he probably in this offense completes at a 65 plus level, 64, 65 plus, but he's not making the amazing plays and winning the games the last second. He's not throwing the ball with both feet off the ground for a touchdown. I can tell you that. So,
No.
But if you made the simple throws, Todd, if you made the
I
layups,
understand
then
that.
you
Yeah.
don't need spectacle at the end of games. And
Sometimes you
and and
do.
and,
Sometimes
and
you do.
that's my complaint with him. You know, let's make the simple throws. Let's keep the chains moving. I still put a lot of blame on DJ Moore for not hustling to that, but you didn't even need that throw at that time.
Right.
And it's overtime. And I put a lot of that on Caleb Williams. You didn't even
Yeah.
need that. And a
No,
good quarterback makes better decisions.
he wants to make the amazing play too much. I want him to make the amazing play, but I want him to
You
I
don't
want him
want to
to
take that away from him, though.
right. I don't want to take it
You
away from him,
don't want to say, don't go out there and ad lib and make amazing plays.
but I
No,
want
you
him to
want him to be smart, Andy.
Yeah, I know you do.
We want to sit there and we talk about how great Tom Brady is, how great Joe Montana was, how many times did you see them make plays like that? They didn't have the ability. But what I'm saying is they didn't even have to. They were killing you throughout the game. You know why? Because they hit the layups. That's why. So when you going up against Green Bay and we're sitting there watching them for 3 whole quarters play like absolute crap. How
right.
many times were we sitting up there killing Caleb Williams for throwing the ball behind people? Simple crossing routes. He's missing people. Overthrowing people who was running free for touchdowns. And that's just the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
He's here in Chicago. I've hitched my wagon to him. He's our guy. I'm just simply saying, clean up the easy layups that you miss on a high clip. We don't need a spectacular. It's great that you got the ability, but we don't need it if you hit the other ones.
Right. Yeah. No, it's great that you can win it in the last second, but if you hit the stuff during the second quarter and the third quarter, then we're up 14 and you don't have to do that. and,
Yes.
and Tyson
That's
Bagent's
all I'm saying.
and Bagent's cleaning up with the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game because you don't have to play because we got that big a lead. I mean, yeah, that's ideally where we get to for sure.
So our boy Darren says, congrats to Thuney for being protector of the year. I mean,
Yeah, that was the Ben Johnson hire was the key to the season, but being able to shore up that interior offensive line
yes.
runs a real close second to it.
Yes. So our
And
boy
Thuney was
D
a part
from
of that.
Skull State of Mind, who we worked with before, says, "What's up, fellas? And man, I'll message you in private, Diggs. I see you want to link up a couple times in the off season. I'll talk to you after the show. But yeah, we're always down to work with you, man. You're the best. Even though you're a Vikings fan, we still like you.
If I'm a Vikings fan, I'm a little nauseous right now.
Yeah. So D, if you're still
No
watching,
offense. I mean, any Viking fan,
so
not
D, if you're still
specifically.
watching, tell us what do you think of the quarterback situation in Minnesota? If you're still watching, send us a message. So guys, breaking last night per Fox 32, it looks like the Bears are going to be a go for Arlington Heights. After all the poker got played, chips got thrown in, all in, fold, bluff, tied. Looks like the Bears are staying in Illinois but moving to Arlington Heights. What are your thoughts on that?
I've been saying that for 5 years now. They went to the trouble of buying that property and mocking up what it's going to look like and get to control everything. Everything else is just smoke and mirrors, right? It's all just a long-term negotiation. And when we're sick of fighting Illinois, then we start flirting with Indiana, and then things get done. That was the same thing with the renovation of Soldier Field. It took having to get into bed with Indiana to get anything accomplished. That's ridiculous that's the case, but it's so much money, involved that you have to try to get the best deal you can, and it comes to that. It takes 5 years when it should take 5 weeks. But anyway,
Champ, what are your thoughts on the breaking news last night? Bears are most likely, it's not set in stone. I could be changing my story next week, but most likely are heading to Arlington Heights. They were basically using Indiana as
of course,
a tool.
I've been killing the Chicago Bears for I don't know how long over this process. I still say that there was some fault on their end, but at the end of the day, I felt like they deserved a new stadium, and I'm not going to say I didn't care where it was because I do. All of that property up there at Arlington Heights is prime real estate to do what they said they're going to do, and that's build a complex, not just a stadium, but build shops and build bars and hotels. I don't know if you guys have been to the Battery. I've mentioned this before, but I've been to the Battery, and it's fantastic. And the Atlanta Braves basically print money for the Battery and for their baseball team. And I wanted something like that for the Chicago Bears. And with football being the number one sport, they will print money if they go ahead and have all of this. I don't like the fact that they're in Chicago and we don't have any say so of where we play football. We don't have any say so of what events are held at that stadium, and it could be the night before a game. We've seen the conditions that the field is left in. And the fact that we sit there and help pay for the renovation of a building we don't even own is asinine to me. And what world do you live in where you do that kind of stuff? And the Parks and Recreation has continued to just, throw their thumb up at us and treat us like we're second-rate tenants. So the fact that we finally get to own our own thing, they're going to put a dome on it, which I really don't really care for because I like the advantage of having the elements and being playing in the elements, and other football teams are not used to, but they're going to be able to host Final Fours and host soccer events and, host a Super Bowl. And with this happening now, they'll eventually get the NFL draft again as well. So kudos to them.
I mean, as they have, if they do it right, and I'm sure that they will, it should be amazing. I mean, that they control everything. It's insane not to do it. But they should be playing there next year. The fact that they bought that property so long ago and it's taken
5 years ago
that there hasn't been a shovel in the ground to start anything yet at this point is that's just a crime. It's ridiculous. So, I'll be glad when it's over.
If you look at the attendance records this year, Chicago was the worst.
Yeah.
Not because we don't care and we're not diehard fans, because we have the smallest stadium.
Right.
The smallest
third largest market in America. We have the smallest stadium in the NFL.
And the plans that they were calling for, the renovation again of Soldier Field, we were going to have the smallest stadium again. And that just makes no sense to me.
I mean, I'm ready. I'm hoping it's done right. I don't want to see them in a dome either. To me, Chicago Bears football belongs outside. We've been outside since 1920. I don't want to see it in a dome. But I mean, maybe a retractable roof that never shuts in the winter, something like that. But I mean, I hope it's a big stadium. It needs to be 85,000 plus. Don't go
Easily.
small.
And they
Go
would feel
big.
it. They would
Yes,
feel
they
it.
will. Go big or go home.
You
Needs
got
to
a
be a
10-year
huge
waiting
stadium.
period on tickets,
Yeah.
on season tickets.
All right, there's always been one. Yep.
So our boy D says, this is how I see it. Every team in the division should have 2 dome teams and 2 teams that play outside. I mean, let's see. In the North, we have Minnesota inside, Detroit outside.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that the Minnesota Vikings can get their quarterback situation figured out, you're going to have more people going to visit the Mall of America than watch Minnesota Viking games.
They fired that GM too.
Yeah, I wonder why.
So our boy D says, I hate the fact that Buffalo's moving into a dome. I do
Yeah.
too.
Mm.
To me, Buffalo football belongs outside.
Yeah, you see them guys shoveling the seats out before the
Yes.
games.
Yeah, that's
good
ridiculous,
stuff.
though, man. I mean,
Yeah.
if anybody who deserves a dome, it's them. They go through it.
Yeah, they do. So, Todd,
Yes, sir.
we're heading into the off season. Free agencies first. What do you think our biggest needs are?
Oh well, our biggest need we need to be able to stop the run. So we need an interior defensive lineman that can actually stop somebody. We need pressure more than anything, you know.
Right.
So we need at least two defensive linemen, and I don't want just you know, I don't want an up and coming guy that I'm going to overpay. We did that last year.
We did.
I want an established guy. You know, well, I don't want to talk about the draft yet and all that, but at 25, we're not going to have anybody that's going to make an impact as far as getting pressure. We can get some run stoppers, and that's a big need for us. And we need to replace the linebacker. We don't have a safety at all. So I think if it were me, you know, I think you have to get some combination of a defensive lineman and a safety and probably a linebacker in the first 3 picks. But that's me.
So D says Clarence is taking shots. Yes, he's always taking shots.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. They committed to that quarterback, the kid, and you know, you spend draft capital and money on a kid, you commit to it, and
and then Minnesota's quarterback that they let walk out the building goes and wins the Super Bowl.
You know, they've got a great coach that can develop quarterbacks, and then they turned it between his time in San Francisco and Minnesota. Darnold became a real quarterback.
I hear Justin Fields might be available.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
D wants to link up so we can talk about this next week. D.
Yeah. We can talk.
D, next week we're talking about this. We're bringing you on. We're talking about this. So, Clarence, what are our biggest needs this offseason?
Well, you know what I'm going to say. I mean, we need an edge rusher. That's our number one need. Then we need a 3 technique defensive tackle, somebody to put right there in the middle. Then we need a safety. Then we need, I would say linebacker first, then safety, because we can re-sign Byard. And then cornerback. But most of our draft capital should be on the defensive side of the ball, plain and simple. Then we need to explore left tackle. I think that we need some depth there, but we have more options on what to do at left tackle than we have at any other position on the defensive side. The defensive side of the ball is where our needs are.
Are you going to be surprised with Ben and his influence and saying, "Hey, give me a running back early"? Is that going to surprise you?
Based on last year's draft, there's no telling what Ben's going to take.
It would surprise me, but I can tell you this: if it's Jeremiah Love,
yeah, no. I'm talking about the second round. I'm not talking about the first round.
Jadarian Price. Then if it's Jadarian Price.
If Price is on the board in the second round, and it's going to be close, he's projecting around that 60 number. I wouldn't be surprised if that went down.
I
'Cause
wouldn't be upset either.
He can return kicks too, right?
He can return
Yeah.
kicks. He
Yeah.
can run in between the tackles with
See,
speed
that
and
opens up.
power, and that's unlike the guy we have now in Swift. Monungai is not a take it to the house kind of guy. He will extend the chains. I'm not mad at Monungai, but Jadarian Price can do
Right.
all of that. And if he will make you miss, and if he breaks a tackle, you might as well line up for the extra point.
Yeah. I mean that frees up a roster spot if he can return kicks. You know what I mean? Because we got to
Yes,
get
he
him back
can.
anyway.
But
So,
you know, I don't think Monungai's a starter though.
yeah. Well, you got to.
I don't think he should be. I think he's a guy that comes off the bench. If you draft Jadarian Price for whatever reason, I think he should be the starter. And if he's doing that, then I don't want him returning kicks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it as the first 3 to 4 picks are defense, but I'm not going to be surprised if Ben doesn't just pound a table and say, "Give me this guy." You know, it's all going to depend on, there's a lot of factors going in, and we've got a lot of time to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So D, we're joining you on one of your shows. D wants us to join him on Sunday. Shoot me an invite, and I'll talk it over with the guys. See if we can come up to a time. I'll agree on a time. But anyway, so let's get into our final thoughts. We've been rambling on for quite a while. My final thoughts are: we usually try to keep it about sports, but past week, Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down, a band that I've followed for many years, passed away with cancer. As I've said before, my mom lost her battle with cancer, liver cancer to be precise. I hate to see anyone lose to cancer. That's a horrible disease. It's a horrible way to see a loved one. It's horrible. So my thoughts and prayers are with Brad Arnold, Three Doors Down, all of his friends and family that loved that band and watched the band. And Todd, what are your final thoughts?
It's gonna eulogize young Jackson Dart and his career prospects going forward.
Fantasy values going down in New York Giants.
And
you don't want to draft Scatterbull
and Cam Scattaboo and Neighbors and probably the receiver they drafted in the first round this year.
Yeah,
that tight end that can look really good at the halfway through the year. I don't. That's a head scratcher, man. I don't understand why you. I mean, look, I've defended the Harbaughs. I've defended John Harbaugh in Baltimore for years, and that's the guy you pick. I don't understand it, man. That to me, that's just you've got this really good looking young quarterback that can do a lot of things, and honestly. Of all the games that we pulled out, I was a little surprised as well as he played with him going down, getting hurt against us.
We weren't going to win that game.
I didn't think so either, and it was purely on him. Now, I just to hire Matt Nagy I couldn't. I had to read it 3 times, because it just didn't make any sense to me. So I hope. I hope he enjoyed being great for 1 year under Dable and when he could, because I do think that Harbaugh will probably run Nagy out of town pretty early. So I'll say that much.
Yeah, I'm still shocked by that pairing. Seems like such an unnatural pairing, Nagy and Harbaugh. It just seems so. It doesn't even seem like a good fit. Like 2 puzzle pieces are not going to go together. You got to find the other pieces. Like that's not a good fit. But Champ, how you feeling? What's your mood? What are your final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts is I'm gonna give a shout out to my daughter Chloe and her.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Her
I know exactly
varsity cheerleading squad for Mountain Island Charter School. They went to Florida and placed second. This national cheerleading competition is a big deal. And I think that they represented themselves very well. They had 3 seniors on this team, and it was hard to see a bunch of them girls out there crying. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, and it just tore me to pieces watching them babies out there crying, but they had given it their all. A lot of after-school practices and having to do homework because their coaches, Coach Wallace is shout out to her, no nonsense, and if you don't make the grades or you get in trouble in school in any way, it affects your standing on the team. And all those girls did what they were supposed to do the whole year, and they represented themselves well. And I just want to give them a nice shout out. We had one of the other parents, LeVar, Washington Commander fan. He's been on our show. His
Yes.
daughter is on that team as well, and so it was just great to. It's just great to shoot it up with them the whole year. Cheerleading season is over with now, and I want to give my baby and the rest of her teammates some props on our show.
Yeah.
Good job to the Mountain Island Charter School Varsity Girls Cheerleading Squad.
Yep. I
That's
saw
great.
your Facebook post. Like I said, congrats to them.
Yeah. that's
I
all
know.
right.
I knew right away you were a proud papa. I didn't have to
Yep.
ask you, or I know how you are with the kids. You're always proud, even the shit talker. You're proud of. So-
Oh, it's gonna you're good. That's gonna cost you right there.
yeah, I know, but I'm sure if she heard, she's gonna fire one off. But anyway, guys, thank you for
She's
watching.
great.
You can find us on Facebook, X, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Until next time, bear down and take care, everyone. See ya.
See you guys.
See ya.